Hey y'all, Angela, Hippie Chick Homestead here. Have you ever had so much to do at harvest time that you were totally paralyzed and you got nothing accomplished? That's what the last couple of days have been for me. I became overwhelmed by the amount of food that I needed to process. The weather turned from 90 degrees to barely reaching 70 and rainy, so I couldn't really work in the garden. So it's been just kind of a, work on other things kind of day done. But the chores are still here. They still are waiting for me to take care of them. So today I'm going to show you what I'll call the good, the bad, and the ugly. Kind of things I need to do in the greenhouse and things I need to do in the garden. I'm not going to show you the stack of tomatoes that need to be turned into tomato sauce and stewed tomatoes. It's just honestly overwhelming. So I'm going to be just honest with you here and show you what really happens at the Hippie Chick Homestead. So the first stop on the good, the bad, and the ugly tour is the onions. I decided this year that I wanted to try and plant onions in the fall and plant them out in the garden a few weeks before frost and see if I could grow them, overwinter them in the garden bed. So these have been in the milk jugs, which is how I start all of my seeds. These have been in here since the 29th, so about 7-8 days. And you can tell that they're coming up really well. I just scatter sow them on the surface of the soil and then just lightly cover them with some potting soil. I don't use any special seed mix or anything. The leeks aren't coming up as well, but I think they'll catch up. And I've got a variety of onion called High Keeper, which is an intermediate onion. I usually plant long day onions here in the Pacific Northwest, but for overwintering, since they'll have limited light, I thought maybe an intermediate or a short day onion would be better, so I went with this variety. These are Walla Wallas, which are a long day onion, and I'm going to give them a shot. This is a shot of the bad and the ugly. This is the greenhouse, and as you can tell, it is a mess. It's a total mess. So I've got seeds that I'm saving over here, primarily sunflowers. I do have some onion seeds back here that I need to sift and sort. More onions, different varieties of sunflowers, so I need to get those dried and removed and stored for next spring. So that's got to happen. I've got a pile of everything back here in the corner. I don't even know what all's back here. Tarps, fertilizer, containers, you name it, it's all back there. And then these are my milk jugs. I do all of my sowing, all of my spring vegetables and summer vegetables in milk jugs. And I don't use seed trays, I don't use seed starting soil, I just plant them in milk jugs. And I need to get these all cleaned up and hung up to dry so that I can get them off the floor. If I come around here, you can see different containers, some heat mats, a variety of things. This is where I usually plant things, get them in the soil. And then down here is a little bit of everything. More milk jugs, it's a mess, to be honest with you. So that's all it needs to be cleaned up. This is my potting area, and I need to get that cleared off so that I can get some things ready to go. Down below, you can see all of my seed starting trays, which I don't even use. So I don't know why I'm storing them in here. I need to actually either get rid of them or do something with them. They're just taking up space. This cart has a variety of garden things on it, fertilizers, dolomite lime, diatomaceous earth, just a little bit of everything, a sunflower that needs to be dried. I decided to move this cart from the garage out to the greenhouse, but didn't have anywhere to put it because I haven't cleaned the greenhouse up. So that's got to happen in the next couple of days. I've got things that need to come in the greenhouse for overwintering. I overwinter my pepper plants, and then I've got another tree that I want to show you. So things to do. This is going to be one of the first things that happen, is getting the greenhouse cleaned up. If I come outside the greenhouse, I've got my green stock, and that's definitely a good thing. You can see I've got a zucchini down there. It's kind of resting on the ground, which isn't a good thing, but I'll get it up off the ground. It's growing well. And then I've got a single strawberry here. These are June-bearing varieties, but for some reason they put on some strawberries in the late fall. And if I come up here, I've got green beans. No shortage of those this year. So the green stock is definitely a good thing. This pile of boxes outside the greenhouse is a mess, to be honest. I'll call this the ugly. When I clean my beds for the fall, I put cardboard down on top of the soil and then layer mulch on top of that to kind of suppress the weeds a little bit. So I save boxes, throw them out here until I get the tape removed and they can go on the garden beds. I've got an elderberry that we're waiting to plant out in the yard until the soil is at least diggable. Right now it's hard as a rock. And then if I swing down here, I've got an azalea that I picked up on sale, and that's going to go in the front perennial bed. This is my lemon tree that a friend gave me yesterday, and it needs some TLC. You can tell it's lost a lot of leaves. It needs some trimming, it needs some fertilizer, and I think it needs a bigger pot, so I'm going to get that taken care of, and that'll go in the greenhouse over the winter. Hopefully, when I pull it out in the spring, we'll get some lemons. These are another good thing, ugly thing that are going to be a better thing. This is one of my 3 blueberry beds that we're getting ready to move. We planted these several years ago. They don't get enough sun, and as a result, we don't really get much of a blueberry harvest. So I ordered some metal beds that we're going to put on the south side of the house and move the blueberries into those. I think we'll get a better crop of blueberries than we have the last couple of years. So this is the area along the south side of the house, and this is where the blueberries are going to go. As you can tell, there's nothing here. The grass has pretty much died off because it's real dry. So I think the blueberries will make this look a little bit better and also be a little more productive. So as I go out toward the garden, this is definitely what I would call the bad and the ugly. We have these creeping grasses that are just slowly taking over. Try and keep them out of the garden area, but we don't do a very good job of it, to be honest with you. So these have to be mowed down, and some of the weeds taken care of around the garden fence. We have an electric fence for the deer. We have a huge deer population that comes through and will plow through my garden in no time flat if I don't turn the electric fence on. It always makes me sort of sad to see sunflowers when they're spent. You can tell these have reached the end of their life. They're slowly dying off. This is right when you walk into the garden area. So I'm saving some seeds and we'll give them new life next spring. This is my volunteer Sweet 100 tomato plant. I didn't plant it. It came up by itself, but it's producing tomatoes, so I let it go. I see I've got a cantaloupe down here to harvest. This one's pretty small, but still tastes good if you don't throw it on the ground. I don't know that these other cantaloupe are going to have time to ripen. The weather's turning earlier than normal. Usually we get rain in mid to late October. Here it's the beginning of September and we're already starting to get rain and cooler temperatures. So we'll see what happens with those. I'm not sure I'll get any more cantaloupe, but I had a pretty good harvest this year anyway. The black-eyed peas are suffering the same fate as the cantaloupe. They're missing the warm weather and the sun. If I peek through here, I see some King of the North bell peppers that are ripening and almost ready to pick. Got quite a few left on the bushes, and I'm hoping that I'll have enough time for those to ripen and pick. They're some of my favorites. I see a few paprika peppers that are getting ready to be picked and put on the smoker for smoked paprika powder. This is my favorite garden bed in the whole garden. These are sweet potatoes. They're Vardaman variety, which I've had really good success with here in my Pacific Northwest garden in the past. And you can tell they're doing great. They don't seem to mind the cooler weather, although if it gets too cool, they'll kind of slow down growth. But I'm not seeing that so far. They've got about a month left in the ground before harvest. So hopefully we'll see some sunny days and some warmer temps for those. Tomatoes were really hit or miss this year. Our temperatures fluctuated so much, and I had a hard time getting things to ripen. These haven't even started blushing yet, so I can't pick them yet. What I've been doing is picking them when they start turning pink and taking them in and ripening them on the counter. These are mortgage lifter tomatoes, one of my favorite varieties. And they've still got quite a few on the vine, so I'm hoping for those warm temps again. I was complaining to my husband about my lack of San Marzano tomatoes on the vine and harvesting, and came out and I discovered some that I picked the other day and forgot to take in the house. So there's some San Marzano tomatoes. This is an example of too much of a good thing. These are Sun Gold tomatoes, and they went crazy this year. Of all the tomatoes I planted, the Sun Golds just outdid everything. So I'm hoping to pick these and take them to our local food bank. They have a program where you can drop off fresh produce from your garden, and we can't possibly eat all these, so I'll take them in tomorrow. This is bad and ugly. These are delicata squash, but as you can tell, the rain and the wet temperatures have kind of given a growth of powdery mildew. So I'm going to have to treat that and hope I can keep it at bay until the rest of the delicata squash are ready to harvest. I'm not surprised at this. I'm surprised at how quickly it sprung up, though. It wasn't here a couple of days ago, and now it's all over the plant. This is my yellow squash bed, and you can see the powdery mildew has hit that as well. So in between the squash bugs and the powdery mildew, I think this bed's probably done. I just see one squash on there. So I'm going to pull these. I'm not even going to bother treating the powdery mildew. I'm just going to pull the plants and call this bed done for the summer. I need to get this cucumber picked and in the house. I see another one down there. So cucumbers are doing great. So that's an honest look at the Hippie Chick Homestead. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm hoping we still have some warmer days ahead of us and that summer's not really over quite yet. I'd like to get some more of the heat-loving crops in. But if it is done, then we'll say goodbye to summer and move on to fall planting. We've got garlic to go in the ground, as well as some more snap peas, spinach, radishes, and carrots. So there's still plenty left to do. And I've got a lot of vegetables to process. Tomatoes galore, green beans, peppers, paprika, you name it. We'll just tackle them one vegetable at a time and get it all done. Hope you're having a great day where you are. Thanks for stopping by the Hippie Chick Homestead. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Take care, y'all.